How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. The Cincinnati Bengals enter the second half of the season with a 5-4 record. There's a lot of talk that it's probably going to need to be the 10 wins. 10 wins is going to be the threshold to make the playoffs out of the AFC this season. The Bengals have one of the toughest schedules to finish the season. The Ravens have one of the easiest schedules to finish the season. So you wonder, is there a window for the Bengals to win the AFC North if the Ravens can just dominate the teams they're supposed to? Is there a way the Bengals find a way into the wild card where that's when you start to look and say, okay, they're going to have to win 10 games. Can the Bengals win 10 games the rest of the season? They have to go 5-3. They run a tough schedule. They're 5-4 right now. There's a lot of question marks. Jamar Chase, is he going to play this week? DJ Reader returning from injury. You're down to Woozier the rest of the season. I think you go into Pittsburgh. That's where everything matters. It really is. It's Pittsburgh. This feels like a playoff game against the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have to win this game. You have to go 6-4 because then you say, all right, now you can go 4-3 to finish the season. It is a massive game. You play the Ravens still. You play the Browns still. I don't know the answer to beating the Cleveland Browns. Everyone else does, but the Cincinnati Bengals. It's a matchup thing again. You got the guys, the pass rush on Cleveland's defense. For whatever reason, the Bengals in pass, they can't get a rush on the Browns offense. They have a hard time. Everybody has a hard time tackling Nick Chubb. So I can see why it's a problem for the Bengals. I think the problem is they have to get ahead early. And when you get ahead of a Cleveland Browns offense or defense, they start to give up, if you will. They start to fall back a little bit, and that's when you start to pour it on. But the problem is the Bengals have a hard time getting ahead of the Browns early. So it's like, all right, they're probably going to lose the Browns game. You play Tennessee, who is starting to see their pass rush come alive once again. If you remember, they sacked Joe Burrow like every time he snapped the football in the playoffs last season. They are down at pass rusher this year, but that's going to be a tough game. You got DJ Reader back. You'll find a way to slow down Derrick Henry like they did last season, and you assume this team can stay in that football game. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, who I don't know what to think. Can you really beat Patrick Mahomes? Can you really do it 3 times in a row? I don't know about that one. I think you can say the Browns are one of their losses. You look at Tennessee and Kansas City, I think you have to win one of those games, and then you have to beat the Baltimore Ravens, which the Bengals have proven they can contain Lamar Jackson. They can put points up against this Baltimore Ravens defense. So I think they can make that happen. That leaves the Buccaneers, the Bills, and the Patriots. The Bengals will need to, again, win 2 of those 3 games. The Bills have been proven that they can be beat. I think the thing with the Bills is the matchup is the Bills don't rely on the run game. The Bengals can stop the run. They don't really care. Josh Allen slings it everywhere, and they got so many weapons on that team. Is he going to tear apart this Bengals defense when they're down a Woozier? I don't know. Buccaneers, though, hey. Tom Brady. You know, we've seen it his entire career. When the offensive line deteriorates, he struggles a little bit. I think the Buccaneers game is a more than winnable game for the Bengals. The Patriots are a team, again, a more than winnable game for the Bengals. They're tough games. They're not going to be easy wins by any stretch of the imagination. But I think they are games the Cincinnati Bengals can win. So if you say Bengals lose to the Browns, let's say they lose to the Bills, and I think they can lose to the Chiefs. That's 3 losses. I think they can win the other 5. You say they beat the Patriots, they beat the Ravens, they beat the Steelers, and I think they steal one from the Tennessee Titans, a team they can also handle, I think, here. And again, they've proven it. The Titans are a team the Bengals, besides that pass rush. I mean, that's been a team Joe Burrow has done really well against. We've seen it in his rookie year. We've seen it last year. I think it's more than likely the Bengals can go 5. Can they go more than 5? Man, I tell you what. They go 6-2. They go 7-1 in this stretch of games. You just wait and see this team in the Super Bowl again. It's this kind of schedule, and I love the way it's been set up by the Bengals the last 2 seasons because it proved last year. It'll prove again this year. It is this type of schedule where you play an absolute gauntlet. You have to win these football games to make playoffs. You win them, you go into the playoffs with that confidence, you go into the playoffs with that momentum, and you ride it to the Super Bowl. I think they did it last year. I think they're capable of doing the same thing this year. Backs might be against the wall. Maybe they beat the Steelers. They lose the next 2, 6-6, 6-5. Regardless, you look at 6-5 and say, okay, we can't lose too many more football games. I think they get hot late. I think things start to come together. I think the offensive line gets better as the season progresses. I know I said that weeks ago and it's struggling. but I still think continuity, it might get a little better. It's not going to be average. It might still be below average, but better. Anything's better than on pace to be sacked more than last season Joe Burrow like he is right now. We'll see, though. Love you guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.